What if the hospital of the future would be your actual home? When they ask people about the future hospitals, they usually depict amazing technologies and really spectacular devices. But what if the majority of care could be provided in our actual homes? By getting wearable and different kinds of devices to our bathroom or bedroom and measuring what needs to be measured. So let's see what would be needed to make our home the new clinic, the hospital of the future. Let's start with the bathroom. It could include a smart scale. You stand on the smart scale, it measures your weight, it recognizes you and sends the data immediately to your smartphone. The mirror could be a digital one, analyzing your stress levels, your pulse, just by looking at you. You could use a smart toothbrush that would analyze whether you are hydrated or not. And then in the toilet, there could be a little chip, microchip, for urine analysis. And when you go into the shower, the smart home could bring the temperature down by using a smart device like Nest, acquired by Google. Going into the bedroom, it could include smart sleep monitors, which first gives you data about what quality of sleep you had, and then it could wake you up at the best time to make sure that you are energized in the morning. Again, when you go to bed, the smart sleep monitor could let the Nest know that it should bring the temperature down again because you are about to sleep. In the kitchen, there could be smart forks and spoons measuring the ingredients of the food, just like what food scanners are designed to do, with applications on smartphones controlling your diet. There could be 3D food printers in the kitchen that could use fresh ingredients and create pizza, cookies, almost any kind of final products, just like what Foodini does these days. At your work desk, you could wear smart clothes measuring your vital signs and your posture, your stress levels and brain activity, telling us when exactly to work for better performance. You can see that now we can use all these devices and we can look ahead into the future and try to find those which can really change the way we live our lives by bringing the clinic, the hospital equipment to our actual homes. What would you like most about our home becoming the clinic? Having medical equipments and any kind of devices measuring our vital signs and making our lives simpler and better.
So how much data should you give away? Traffic management is one thing, but when it comes to healthcare, the stakes, the risks and benefits are even higher.
The population is getting older, and an ageing population needs more intense healthcare, but it's very difficult to pay for that healthcare in institutions, paying for nurses and doctors. So the key insight of the Sphere team was that it's now possible to arrange in a house lots of small devices where each device is just monitoring a simple set of signals about what's going on in that house. There might be monitors for your heart rate or your temperature, but there might also be monitors that notice as you're going up and down stairs whether you're limping or not.
They've invited me to go and spend a night in this very experimental house, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed to tell you where it is. The project is a live-in experiment and will soon roll out to 100 homes across Bristol. It's a gigantic data challenge overseen by Professor Ian Craddock. So that's one up there then?
Yes, that's one of the video sensors, and we have some more sensors in the kitchen. We have another video camera in the hall and some environmental sensors, and a few more in here.
Okay, so you can tell when you're passing through. The house can generate 3D video, body position, location, and movement data from a special wearable. How much data are you collecting then?
So when we scale from this house to 100 houses in Bristol, in total we'll be storing over 2 petabytes of data for the project.
Lord. So on my computer at home, I don't even have a terabyte hard drive, and you're talking about 20,000 of those.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the interaction of people with their environment and with each other is a very, very complicated and very variable thing, and that's why it's a very challenging area, especially for you know, data analysts, machine learners, to make sense of this big mass of data.
I'm happy to find out that the research doesn't call for cameras in the bedroom or bathroom, but I do have to be left entirely on my own for the night. The very first thing that I'm going to do is pour myself myself a nice bloody big glass of wine. There we go. So that nice glass of wine that I'm enjoying now isn't completely guilt-free because I've got to admit to it to the University of Bristol. I have to keep a log of everything I do so that the data from my stay can be labelled with what I actually got up to. In this way, I'll be helping the process of machine learning, teaching the team's computers how to automatically monitor things like cooking, washing and sleeping. Signals in the data of normal behaviour. In the interest of science, I was also asked to do some things that are less expected. Oh, I spilled my drink. The team need to learn to detect out of the ordinary behaviour too if they want to one day spot specific signs of ill health. Right. I'm going to run this back to the kitchen now. It's a fairly strange experience. I think the temperature sensors, the humidity sensors, the motion sensors, even the wearable, I don't have a problem with at all. For some reason, the body position is the one that's getting me. On the flip side, though, I would go absolutely crazy to have this data set. This is the most wonderful. My goodness me. Everything you could learn about humans, it'd be so brilliant. One thing I wanted to do was to do something completely crazy, just to see if they can spot it in the data, just to kind of test them. Okay, ready? I can't believe this is my life now. Anyone can get the data from my stay online if they fancy trying to find my below-the-radar escape. The man in charge of machine learning, Professor Peter Flack, has the first look.
Between 9 and 10 you were cooking?
Correct.
Then you went into the lounge. You had your meal in the lounge, I don't know.
You know what, I ate on the sofa.
And you were watching crap television,
I was watching crap television?
Yeah, well,
found out.
We didn't switch the crap television sensor on, so that's not on here. But, okay, so you were in the lounge, sort of until 11:30?
Correct.
Then you went upstairs. There's a very clear signal here. And then from then on, there isn't a lot of movement.
I was in bed.
I guess you were in bed. And
sleeping.
Normal activities like cooking or being in bed are relatively straightforward to spot. But what about the weird stuff?
This is yesterday again, so...
I can see it. I can see the moment.
You can see the moment?
I can see it, yeah.
There's something happening here, which is sort of rather quick. You've been in the lounge for quite a while, and then suddenly there's a brief move to the kitchen here, and then very quick cleaning up in the lounge.
I wasted good wine on this experiment.
Humans are extraordinarily good at spotting most patterns. For machines, the task is much more challenging. But once they've learned what to look for, they can do it tirelessly.
Then you stop cooking.
I suppose in the long run, if you are going to scale this up to more houses, you can't have people sifting through these graphs trying to find... I mean, you have to train computers to do them.
You have to train computers to do them. One challenge that we are facing is that our models, our machine learning classifiers and models need to be robust against changes in layout, changes in personal behavior, changes in the number of people that are in a house. And maybe we are wildly optimistic about what it can do, but we're in the process of trying to find out what it can do, at what cost, at what invasion into privacy, and then we can have a discussion about whether, as a society, we want this or not.
If this type of technology rolls out, machines will be modelling us in mathematical terms and intervening to help keep us healthy in real time. And that's completely new. It's true that our fascination with machine, or artificial intelligence, is as old as computers themselves. Claude Shannon and Alan Turing both explored the possibilities of machines that could learn. But it's only today, with torrents of data and pattern-finding algorithms, that intelligent machines will realise their potential. You'll hear a lot of heady stuff about what's going to happen when we mix big data with artificial intelligence. A lot of people, understandably, very anxious about it. But for me, despite how much the world has changed, the core challenge is the same as it always was. It doesn't matter if you are William Farr in Victorian London trying to understand cholera, or in one of Bristol's wired-up houses. All you're trying to do is to understand patterns in the data using the language of mathematics. And machines can certainly help us to find those patterns, but it takes us to find the meaning in them.
We should be worried about what we're going to do with these smart technologies, not about the smart technologies in themselves. They are in our hands to shape our future. They will not shape our futures for us.
In the blink of an eye, we have gone from a world where data, information and knowledge belonged only to the privileged few, to what we have now, where it doesn't matter if you're trying to work out where to go on holiday next or researching the best cancer treatments. Data has really empowered all of us. Now, of course, there are some concerns about big corporations hoovering up the data traces that we all leave behind in our everyday lives. But I, for one, am an optimist as well as a rationalist. And I think if we can marshal together the power of data, then the future lies in the hands of the many and not just the few. And that, for me, is the real joy of data.